Hey, I'm glad you joined us. I have a friend in the house. We've heard from Charlotte Gambill before, but I believe we're just going to even go deeper. And the words that she has for you will really impact your life today, because that's what we're here for. That's what you're here for, is to impact somebody else's life. Maybe you're starting your day with us this morning, or maybe it's in the evening and you're getting ready to go to bed. However that is, I pray that this session today, this show, will impact your life. And as you get out among others, as you are with your children, your husband, your friends, or in the community, you're going to be full of something today and tomorrow that will help impact their life, because the something is Jesus. And when we get together, he just comes up and he fills us. So today you're going to get filled. And I have Charlotte Gambill back with me.
Yes, thank you for having me back.
Yes, you are a worthy guest. You always bring such truth to the table. And the way you put it is just not harmful.
Right. That's the good thing, right? We don't need any of that.
Sometimes truth can feel harmful, but you know, when it comes from the Lord and you get in that space with him, and I know there's sometimes people are not so open to even hear him correct you, but when you open your heart for the loving correction, comes out of relationship with him.
Right.
That comes out of doing this with Jesus. And when you do, the correction, it has life and joy. It's like, I've had him correct me. I don't know what I'm talking about correction. That's not what we're talking about, so don't go away. But I believe that even as we have these gentle conversations, that these things bring life and healing at the same time. So you may hear something, you're like, oh, I haven't been doing that. Oh, I haven't seen that. Don't let the enemy take you sidetracked to guilt, because we are free today, and we're free to just listen and let the Lord do a work. And in that intimate place and in that relationship, really correction just becomes help.
Right.
Correction becomes, oh, he's removing what was stopping me.
Right.
So the word become is just the name of Charlotte's new devotional. And I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me.
It's one of the news. It's one of three. So there's three in that series, and that's the third. So yeah.
This to become is to grow into who God's made us to be. And yeah, that's going to take some change, but it's what he's about. It's what we're about today. So to have a device and a tool and a relationship, even in a devotionals, are very relational, aren't they?
Right.
To have these changes come in our lives.
Right.
So, Charlotte, the word tell us, I want to know a little bit just about the whole devotional series, because just to hit that high, and then we can talk about this one.
Well, I laugh because, God gives me these ideas and I try and say, no, not now, Lord. This is not you. This is not from you. Sometimes I rebuke the ideas because I'm really hoping it's not the Lord. I think it's the cheese from the pizza last night that's just giving me a crazy idea. But God gave me an idea for three books that I wrote, one each year. And so this is the final one in that 3-year journey. And so there were 3 devotionals. The first one was Breathe. And that really, I wrote that for a 365-day journey where you one day have a verse that I kind of unpack. The second day, you kind of have to apply it. So it's like a breathing in, a breathing out, a breathing in, a breathing out. So I wrote that one. And then that was followed by one called Beyond. And that one, I felt God say to me, break this now into 12 months. So each month has an emphasis that you stay in for that entire month, and you do that for 12 months. And then this one is actually a weekly emphasis. So this is 52 weeks. So each week there is something for you to become more of in the journey. So really, I got you covered for 3 years.
Well, you said something in describing this book, inhale
and exhale. Yeah.
Inhale
truth and exhale life.
Exhale life.
Yeah.
I love that. And, just as you were talking, I'm trying to pinpoint us. When we were talking the last time and this time, what is it about Charlotte? What's the word that you always do when I hear you? And the word is journey. So devotionals, to me, for you to do devotionals, makes so much sense with how you impact people and call people. It's like every time I've ever listened to you, you took me from here to there.
Right.
So it's very much a journey process, even in the Lord, apart from this devotional, to become.
Right.
People want to become right away.
Yeah.
So how do you start to become, and you had 4 things in this one, right? To become.
Yeah, it breaks down over different areas, like even just becoming healthy and becoming the change in the world that you're in, and becoming, really the whole book's based around that whole thought that this journey of becoming never ends. I don't know about you, but when I was younger, like people would say to me all the time, what do you want to become? And then when I got older, no one asked me anymore. They asked my kids, what do your kids want to become? I'm like, wait a minute. Because the assumption is we already arrived. You've already, you've got that label now, or you made that mistake, so that defines you. Or, okay, you didn't actually achieve what you thought you would achieve, so your level of becoming has kind of leveled out. And I just really felt like, God helped me to say to everyone, no, the journey of becoming, if you're still breathing, is still ongoing. And to get back on that journey, because I think we settle so easily. I think we go, well, I should have got that by now, or I should have done that by now, or this opportunity hasn't happened for me, and it's way past that age and stage where I think it could happen. And so we begin to limit God in our becoming, but our whole journey with him is that he keeps becoming more and we keep becoming less. And the whole journey is, man, we should every day be becoming more like him. So I wake up in the morning, I'm like, am I more like him today? And if I'm not, then there's more becoming to do. Am I more like him in my conversation and in my attitude and in my mindset? And so really I wanted to encourage everyone to, like, where have you stopped becoming? Like, what area of life, is it your health? Is it your mental well-being? Is it just in your physicality that you just like, oh, this will do? Is it in your relational world? Because there's always an area where there's more of him to become.
Well, I think that we kind of keep the mindset that we had when we were little. How many people still want to be a firefighter / doctor / actor? We keep the expectation on ourselves that we had early, and we think that's still what we're supposed to become.
Right.
It's what we thought we were going to be in our 20s or our 30s.
Right.
And for me, it was like even the life and the journey that led me to what I'm truly supposed to be.
Right.
To come together all in this one package with the information. So
right.
To become is not a decision. It's not just a decision.
No, it's a process. So I always think of the scripture, when it talks about, it tells us in Isaiah that, he is the potter and we are the clay, right? And I think sometimes in life we want to switch roles. And so we're like, no, I'll tell you the pot I'm going to be. I'll tell you what it is that my life will be used for. But God has to continually get us back into that place where our life is pliable. And in Jeremiah, God says to Jeremiah, go to the potter's house. I'm going to speak to you when you get there. And Jeremiah goes to the potter's house. And then he sees the potter and God says to him, what do you see? And the potter takes the clay. And he says the clay's got a little marred. The clay's kind of got set in a way it shouldn't. And the clay is remade. And God says, that's what I'm going to do for my people. I'm going to remake them. And I think, if you think about, I used to do pottery at school and I was not very good at it. But I remember doing pottery and, the lesson would be coming to a close. And so the teacher would say, hey, we need to get all of this now in the kiln, in the furnace. And as soon as it goes in the furnace, the pot goes from pliable to resistant, right? It's set. And I think that's what happens in life. I think we go through a furnace, we go through a fire, we go through a time of testing, we go through a failure, we go through a disappointment or an anxiety. And in that, suddenly our clay that was pliable with all of this possibility before suddenly becomes hard and resistant and maybe bitter and maybe just set in its ways. And the only way you can undo the setting is that you have to be broken and you have to get back on the wheel. And the clay has to go back to the original form that God needs it to be in order to make it into something that is beautiful. And so I think becoming is often about breaking. It is about exactly how you began the whole conversation. It is about correcting. It's about the willingness to go, man, I think I set something because I was hurt or because I went through a journey and I've just become resistant. And we set our vessel at such a smaller capacity than actually what God has for all of our journey, because we think the furnace was the defining statement on our life. And the furnace was not the defining statement on life. The potter is the defining statement on our life. And that means we've got to get back to a place of pliability.
Well, when I was going through this hard time in my life, and that story, the potter and the clay, that just meant so much to me. Every time I read it, I think, this is as I started in children's ministry,
Right.
like a good object lesson. God takes him on a good object lesson journey. But the thing that when I read that, I saw God even asked the question. I mean, I guess you could say, will you become what he's called you to be?
Right.
Or will you stay stuck? Because that question that God asked was, can I take you to myself and reform you? Like, can he take that clay off of the potter that's not turning out the way? That's what it says, not turning out the way he wanted it. Can he take that? And sometimes it may feel crushing, or it may feel like, this is uncomfortable. But if he takes you back in his hands and pulls you to himself, think about how beautiful that is. You just have to be willing, because he says, can I? He won't just jump in the middle. But in a trouble, you can think about everybody else.
Right.
And what they're doing or what's going on.
Right.
Or you can just focus on, yes, Lord, just mush me up.
Yeah.
And I felt mushed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's messy. I mean, there's nothing about that whole process. Even if you watch a potter at work that is tidy, it's messy, and there's a lot of water involved, and there's a lot of mess involved, but there's a lot of beauty involved, and there's a lot of possibility involved. And maybe you feel right now like, man, I feel like I'm being broken. Well, not all breaking is bad. Some breaking is exactly what leads to the breakthrough. And sometimes we've got to let God break down our pride, or our defensiveness, or our excuses, or the things that we put up to protect us. And it's in the re-breaking of those that God gets a remaking of our life and our future. And, there's a verse in 2 Timothy that has always kind of freaked me out, because it says in 2 Timothy, it says in the Message, it says, that basically in a large house, there are containers that are used for all different things. Some are used, to serve, great food on a platter. Others are used to collect compost. And then it says this line, it says, choose what kind of vessel you want to be, that God can use you in any way at any time to serve his best to those around him. And I was like, wait a minute, I get to choose whether I want my life to be limited to the compost, or whether I want my life to just be a platter. I get to choose what kind of vessel that I want to become in his hands. And I think that choice is on all of us. And that choice looks like the journey of becoming. It looks like, okay, I'm going to get back on the wheel. Okay, maybe I settled to be this kind of vessel, but actually what I'm called to be is so much more than what I understood. And so for me, I'm always like, gosh, I could settle here and I could go, that's enough. But what if there's more that God has for me, and it just needs me to remain in the wheel, and sometimes remain in that place where it's not as clear as I'd like it to be. I feel like I've been through the most messy season of leaving some stuff that I've done for 28 years, embracing some new stuff that is like, really, I'm going to do that when I'm almost 50, really? Okay, like saying yes to taking a massive risk, stepping out, from a secure income to like, okay, God, I need you to come up and show through in this area. And just that, even, all of us, sometimes we get a little comfortable, and we're like, well, I can see how this can happen because I budgeted for this and I planned for this. And then God's like, no, back on the wheel. And you're like, whoa, this is a mess again, but it's in the best possible way. Okay. It's a journey of you becoming less and him becoming more. And God always shows up.
Well, that's the key to any kind of a growth or going from one place of faith and glory to the next, is to become less. And that's what Jesus was trying to tell Nicodemus. It's what John the Baptist understood, that I must decrease so that he must increase, and that the importance is what he's shaping you to be. I think in that scripture, there's a lot of misunderstanding where you're talking about the vessel being fit. What is a golden vessel?
Right.
It's not so much, because I think people would say, well, that's someone who has a lot of ministry or followers or people listening to them. And it's not so much about what the framework of your life with God or your ministry could be to your kids, or your ministry to the church, or your ministry to the homeless or whatever. It's about being that vessel who's fit. Being fit is for his use is the golden life.
Yes.
It's not a golden microphone. It's a golden life with him of availability. And I think your book about becoming healthy, that's an important conversation to have, because, at 59, suddenly you start getting reports from the doctors. I'm like, what? Well, I'm only like 25. And And, having to like use your faith and being wise and hearing from the Lord how to handle your life in your physical body,
Yeah.
how to handle, the things that you were doing that don't work as you get older. They really didn't work younger. They just, they start showing up. So listening to him for that, I feel like that's a place where I'm now on the potter's wheel with him reshaping my thinking.
Right.
I'll give you an example. He said, one day I've been pressing into these places, and he said, you don't eat to be healthy. And I'm like, I don't. I mean, you feel like you do. You feel like I'm healthy most of the time. He said, no, you either eat weight to lose weight, to stay at the same weight, or to enjoy it. None of those. While you may be eating healthy, the purpose is more important than what you're doing.
Right.
So that's huge.
It's that awareness. I think in every area of our life, it's the awareness of like the process of what, I'm becoming healthier in my thought life. I'm becoming healthy in my physical life. It's the awareness, like you had to come to an awareness of going, actually, that's right. I'm not doing these to become healthy. I'm doing these to achieve a certain goal. And that's exhausting because the goal's forever changing. The goal was, I want to be this size. Now the goal is I want to be this size. The goal is I want to have, this success. Now the goal is, oh no, I need to have this success. So if we're chasing goals, we will be exhausted. But if we're chasing just being healthy and becoming more like him, it is less about all of that stuff. It's not about this, like for example, for me, just recently, in all of these changes and going back on the wheel, I was leading a very successful conference. It was huge, one of the biggest in Europe, filling an arena. And I just felt God say, lay it down. And I'm like, okay. Like I've put 20 years of my life into this, built it from nothing. But it was like that vessel was exactly what I needed in that moment. But the vessel I need you now to be does not look like that moment. And so don't let the shape of success or the shape of what you have created thus far become the limitation of what I can do in your life. But if you're more married to that than you are to me, the success and all of that. And so for someone right now, maybe it's your business or it's your ministry or it's something that you're like, man, I'm doing this and I've achieved all this. But at the end of the day, all of that has to be a sacrifice. And if you can't surrender it, it has a greater hold on you than you do on God. You're saying, I trust this that I have built more than I trust the God that allowed me to build it. And so for me, I was like, I built this ministry. I built this thing that's reached thousands and thousands of people. And that vessel was the right thing in that time. And now, honestly, at the other side of laying it down, I'm doing things that are, in some ways, they would look smaller, but they are so much more exponential because I'm helping the leader that's helping the thousands. I'm here today helping you across a camera that's in a living room somewhere that has a life that I would never be able to speak into outside of a vessel like this. And so God is never about taking you on a journey where he's trying to make it so that, your success, he's trying to degrade it. He's saying it was never about that. That actually what I'm after is the usefulness of your vessel. And honestly, I think God stops using our lives in the way that maybe he wanted to use our lives when we say, this is what it has to be. This is what it looks like. Because now we become the potter and not the clay.
The harmful thing is when we think we're the potter, I can start thinking I'm working on you and I'm not learning anymore. I'm not the clay anymore. And when he puts you out into this new space of doing something that you don't even know if you can do.
Right.
We want to hold on to what we know,
right.
But we're not opening the door for him to come in and
right.
teach us. The word says the kingdom is always increasing.
Yep.
So we have to look at that for ourselves too. He's always increasing the kingdom in us. And I think especially right now, he's doing new frameworks of life and business and ministry. I know people that are launching over here and doing something different over here. It's like, because he's putting us in a space, I think also so we can have to be on the wheel, have to rely on him. You know what I love about the wheel the most, Charlotte, is when especially I think back to, I like getting on it again because I want to go back to how it felt when he was repairing me and saving me, my Savior. His hands were always on me.
Yeah.
I felt the constant hand on me.
Yeah.
and still do, especially as he has you do more. And the pressure, something beautiful on the wheel is only created by pressure.
Right.
But the pressure's not from the problem that made you sit on the wheel in the first place. It's him.
Right. And there's a big difference you can sense, because when you're building it and it's about you and your success, then you're controlling it. The pressure's a totally different pressure. It's a pressure to produce. It's a pressure to perform. It's a pressure to meet a certain goal or reach a certain target or have a certain number. And so all of these are like very physical things that we are aiming after. But with God, it's not that physical thing. It's an obedience thing. It's a can you lay an Isaac down? Because if you can lay an Isaac down, there's a whole nother promise attached to this. It's David. It's like, I know you wanted to build it, and I know you drew the plans for it, and thank you for doing that, but I'm actually going to have Solomon build it. So David at that point has a choice. He can either go, well, you know what? I don't like that plan because I've seen the vessel, and this is what I want it to be, and so I am just going to build it anyway. Or you can have the heart that says, like David did, well, I'm not allowed to build it, but I can provide for it. I can go out and get resources for it. I can go out and do everything I can to set my son up to win. And that's what he did. He went and called all his friends. He said, hey, I need this supply so that you can build. I need this from here. And he got shipments brought in. So when Solomon, I believe this wholeheartedly, when Solomon was stood before God and God said, ask me for whatever you want, I think he stood there going, well, I don't need resources. Dad took care of that. I don't need people. That was taken care of. I don't need this because that was handed to me. You know what, God? The only thing I need from you is wisdom. And I think if we would be like that, there'd be a lot more people that when God asks them what they need, the only thing that they need to say is the only thing that God can give them, instead of all the stuff we could have given to one another had we not been so mindful about what we wanted and our success, and realize, no, the whole thing is that we're all working to pour the same thing out of the vessel that God's entrusted to us.
Honestly, I don't even know what else to ask you, because I feel like there's something more, there's something deep. I want to give you the next little bit to challenge or close, to give us that last thing that you want to say, and then challenge and pray, because I don't know, God wants to do ministry time here.
I think for some that are watching, this is a pivotal time of decision making for you. Some of you it's to do with your ministry, some of you it's to do with your family, and you're wrestling. There's like a wrestle that's going on, and it's keeping you up at night. It's even making some of you ill, like you're wrestling. And you're just on that place where you are trying to put something in the furnace and saying, but God, I've set my mind on this. I've decided on this. This is how it's going to be. And the wrestle right now is God's like, no, I'm asking you to lay it down, and I'm asking you to trust me. You know, in that story where Abraham is asked by God to take Isaac, it says that God says to him right at the beginning, he says, I'm going to show you the mountain that you're going to take Isaac up. I think we've chosen the mountain that we want to go up. And I think we've got to get back down to the bottom of the mountain and say, God, I don't want to go up this mountain unless it's the one you showed me. And I think some of us are exhausted from climbing a mountain that God never told us to climb. And we're asking God to provide for the mountain, take care of the mountain, you know, bring provision to the mountain. He's like, dude, you're on the wrong mountain. That is not the mountain that I showed you. I want to show you the mountain. And when you go up the mountain, everything changes. And even Isaac, when he was taking Isaac, it says Abraham only took 2 people with him. And then he got to a certain point on the mountain where he actually turned to those 2 people and said, you actually can't come any further. I have to do this last bit with Isaac on my own. Even that is a journey that I think some of you are on right now. You're taking some people up this mountain with you, and they're talking to you in a way that's convincing you to do certain things that you shouldn't be doing. Like there are some voices at the side of the mountain that are actually confusing the obedience of the mountain. And they weren't there when God said to you what he said to you. They weren't there when he said to you to lay that Isaac down. So they're going to wrestle you at the point of sacrifice, and you need to be free of that wrestle, and you need to isolate even some conversations on the mountain so you can get to where God asked you to be, because that mountain's going to be about the new revelation for what God has for you. That's where he named the mountain Jehovah Jireh. That's where he saw an aspect of God that he's never seen before. But the mountain's not a group booking. Not everybody's going to get it. Not everyone's going to understand it. It's going to be a sacrifice. It's going to be a surrender. But I'm telling you, it's the awakening of something far greater than the mountain you picked by yourself.
Wow. Well, can you just pray, challenge,
yes,
pray?
Absolutely.
Yes. Get in this with us. God is burning in your heart. He's burning right now. So this is for you.
So that I'm just right now asking for the person that's listening. And right now they are feeling that sense of, I know this is you, God. I know there's something I'm supposed to lay down. I know there's something I need to surrender. God, I'm holding on tightly, mainly because I'm fearful and mainly because it's a controlling issue. And just right now, for some of you, it's a controlling issue. And God's just right now, he's dealing with that in you. He's just saying, do you want me to be in control, or do you want to be in control? Do you want this to look like your vessel, or do you want it to look like the vessel that I have intended from the beginning? And right now, God's asking for that struggle, that wrestle in you. He's asking right now for some things to be broken so there can be a breakthrough. What you're fearful of letting go, you need to understand at the other side of the release, there is an increase. It's not going to look like you think it is. It's not going to look like you want it maybe to look, but it's going to be the very thing that God needs from your life and for your future. And so I pray right now for a courage and for a confidence. I pray for a Holy Ghost conviction on the inside of you. I pray that you'd understand that that burning is God saying, I am with you in this season. There's no need to fear. Just like there was no need to fear for Abraham when he got to the top of that mountain with Isaac, but he had to get to the top. He had to get to the top of the mountain. And actually, it wasn't until he got to the top and he lifted out the knife and he was willing to actually go through with what God asked him that then the ram appeared. The ram is not going to appear halfway up the mountain. God didn't speak to Abraham again from the bottom of the mountain when he sent him. He didn't speak to him again to the top of the mountain when he got there. God's silent right now in some of your world. He's silent right now because you're not where he told you to go. You're on a different mountain. You've taken a detour, and his voice will return with such a clarity when you get back to the place of obedience. And in that place of obedience and that place of surrender, God will provide what needs to be provided, and he'll speak to you about the legacy that's already awakened within you. He's going to speak to you clearly, but you've got to get to the top of the mountain that he's showing you. So I pray confidence and courage and conviction to do the God thing, not your thing, the God thing in this next season.
Wow. I want to talk to the burning heart. So many of you think that you're off and that you're off of what God wants. No, you're on a journey, and this is part of it. So I want to encourage you. Listen to this program again. Listen to Charlotte. Go order Become and just give yourself to that space that the Lord is working on you, and let him, he's going to bring you courage. If you listen to this multiple times this week, he's going to bring you courage. He's going to bring you instruction. He's going to give you the next step. He's going to bring you fire, and you're going to know your identity and that you're walking with him. This is so important, and I'm so excited about what he's doing in your life.